As we get adjusted here. Hello, and thank you for tuning into The Divide with Marcus C. Williams on WRFZ 106.3. We are here talking about stuff that you need to hear. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching today. If you guys want to comment, you can, if you're following us online, you can comment. I will put your comments up on the screen and read them live on air. So definitely do comment. And if you're watching us online, make sure that you share this out. Get it out to more people so more people can hear the conversations that we're having, because we're talking about important things that you don't hear talked about very often. So definitely share this on your page, share it to your friend's page, share it in a group, share it wherever and everywhere, and drop a heart, drop a thumbs up, whatever you can do. And if you're listening to us online, remember, tell your friends, your family, and even your enemies. Tune in on Mondays to WRFZ 106.3 to Divide with Marcus C. Williams. Let's jump into it. So, we've had a very lot of stuff. I know that's not proper English, you guys, so bear with me, but you know what I mean. We've had a whole lot of stuff going on in the last couple of weeks. We got a new president, and dang gone howdy. Boy, I'll tell you what, the president has been doing a whole lot of stuff since he got into the office. Some people are saying, oh my goodness, Trump is doing too much. Some people are saying, oh my goodness, Trump is doing fantastic. And a lot of people just have no clue exactly what's going on. But I see a lot of debates and stuff online about the president. People are like, oh, the president is terrible. He just got into office less than a month ago. How terrible could he be so far? You know, like, this is really like the legitimate questions. What are the powers of the executive branch? And I think that that's a serious conversation that we need to have as a nation, because the unfortunate reality of things is most people don't know what the powers of the executive branch are, and that's extremely and grossly detrimental to the not only the election system, but to the way our government operates. See, I don't like very many politicians at all, and I'll talk about the ones that I like, and I'll say, hey, I like them. Otherwise, I just generally talk about other politicians. I don't necessarily say I like them or don't like them. Usually it revolves around policy. Well, I mean, even the ones I like them because of their policy. It's that they largely stand on business like all of the time. But here's the deal. When we have politicians that are getting up, grandstanding, and talking about stuff that doesn't have anything to do with their positions, that is a detriment to us. I see that thumbs up there. Thank you very much. Yeah, make sure you share this and drop a comment, and I'll read it online. So as we have this conversation, there are many politicians that get out there and they'll say, oh, well, this is bad, or this is good, this is good. And many times I ask, what does that have to do with you and your position? I'll give you the best example I can is here locally where I am in Rochester. So less than a week ago, maybe 4 days or so, maybe it was last Wednesday even, we had our county executive, not our county executive, but he was there. We had our county clerk get up on the TV talking about, oh, I'm against President Trump getting rid of X's on passports. Really? Really? You're the county clerk. It's not even supposed to be a political office, really. Like, you push papers and stuff like that. You're the reason why our permits take so long to get, and you're the reason why the DMV is so sloppy and trash. Like, why don't you address those issues? You're mad at Trump for getting rid of X's on passports? I'm not even going to delve into that right now the way I want to, but because I don't want to take away from the fact that I'm talking about what politicians do at their level in their positions, right? So this lady's up there talking about something that's way above her station. She's talking about something on the federal level dealing with a passport. The county clerk doesn't got nothing to do with, with the passport rules and regulations. What are you doing? You're out here grandstanding for no reason, not benefiting anybody, just talking a whole bunch of smack, trying to get your name out in the news and trying to push moral virtuism and virtue signaling and propaganda. Like, that's got nothing to do with your job. That's not affecting or impacting you in any great, real type of a way. Like, is she so serious? Then listen, let me not even just talk about her, because I'm going to catch her outside. I'm going to tell her about herself too, because I believe very firmly that we need to make sure that we're engaging with our elected officials and addressing and redressing our grievances with our government, because that's in our First Amendment right. People talk about free speech, free speech, free speech. Y'all missing the most important parts of the First Amendment, which is redressing your grievances with your government. You gotta. It is your First Amendment, and I can't make this clear enough. That's why on this show, I always encourage getting active and getting involved, taking part in actual politics. Don't be a political activist. Take part in politics, right? Like, there's two different things. There's these people that go outside and they, oh, I'm protesting, oh, I'm mad, oh, blah, 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 blah. But they don't actually participate in politics. And that's a serious, serious issue. So again, back to the First Amendment, everybody talks about, oh, free speech, free speech. Free speech is great. Free speech is fantastic. But they often leave out redressing your grievances with your government. Now, if you've ever been to a county meeting or a school board meeting or any meeting like that, I got to clean my camera real quick. It looks like it's a little foggy. It might just be the lighting in here. So I hope that's better, you guys. So drop a comment and I'll do my best to post your comment and read it on the air, okay? So drop a comment, hit some thumbs up. I see you guys watching. Make sure you hit it and you hit the share button. So redressing your grievances with your government is, to me, the first most important part of the First Amendment. But everybody forgets that. And then people don't exercise it very much ever. I go to school board. I don't go to school board often, right? Because I mostly focus on legislative stuff like county ledge, city council, or the state assembly and state senate. So that's where my focus is, on legislative stuff. But everybody complains about the school board, and I never see anybody. I try to watch them online from time to time, and I never, ever, ever see anybody going down to the school board meetings. It's like one or two people, and everybody's always complaining, oh, the school board, the school district, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. Well, if it's so terrible, why aren't you going to the meetings? Why aren't you redressing your grievances with the government, right? Like, that's your right. Like, if you really feel some type of way, you need to take your behind down to the meeting. And that's ever, ever, ever so important. But people don't flex that muscle, as it is part of our First Amendment. And that's very frustrating to me, you guys. I mean, I know a lot of you sometimes it's timing conflicts and stuff like that. And I'm just using the example of the, of the school board as one example, right? Like, I go to county ledge and city council all the time. So I go to city council. The only people I see at city council largely are loons. These crazy people, it's crazy people and extremists and the far left. Those are the people I see. If I see one general person from regular society in there with a reasonable or normal complaint, it's very, very, very rare. It's very rare that that ever happens. They don't come. Now I go to county ledge. It's the same type of a situation. People just don't come out and redress their grievances with their government. But people have so much mouth. People have so many complaints. And let me put this mild rebuke out there. Okay, that's a story. It's not going to be a mild rebuke. It's going to be a very strong rebuke, because I really, really, really want more people to get involved and participate in politics. It's important. It is your constitutional duty. It's right there in the First Amendment. Redress your grievances with your government. So if you don't like the way that city council is doing stuff, if you don't like the way that county ledge is doing stuff, you need to go out and you need to redress those grievances with them. But you got to know and understand what the levels of government do. Like I said, this lady talking about she's our county clerk, going to get up there and talk about, oh, well, Trump is taking the X's off of passports. Not your job, not your function. Mind your business, honestly. And I say that like that because what do they say? Mind the business that pays you. Like, your job is to run our DMV. It's to run our county clerk's office where they file the paperwork and stuff like that. Who cares if there is an X or not an X on a passport, right? By the way, there's only two genders. There's only two sexes. It's male and female. Anybody else that says anything else is not only misleading you, they are a terrible, horrible person. I said exactly what I said, and I stand on that fact. And I don't care what anybody has to say about it, okay? We're not going to debate that. There is no single debate for that. Anybody that actually believes that has been really messed up mentally by people feeding them a whole bunch of garbage. And I'm not going to go into that today. Okay. But there are people out here. Matter of fact, I'll go into it for 2 seconds because it's concerning to me. There is a young lady I know, and she said that she's non-binary. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. But it means like she's allegedly can be a boy one day or a girl the next, or she doesn't feel tied or attached to any specific gender. What even is that? That's not a real thing. That means that you're mentally disturbed. That means that there's something truly, truly wrong with you that you need to get addressed. And then she said, well, one of my goals is to address my mental health this year. Yeah, because you don't know what gender you are. That is a problem because you're uncomfortable with the gender that you were born into because people are telling you that you don't have to be what you were born as far as your gender. That's crazy. This is insane. But this is what's being propagated by adults who are really, what do you call those people? It's not just child abuse because they're doing it to adults too. Like it's malfeasances, and I'm putting it nicely. I got a lot of strong words, but again, I don't want to make the show about that because I'm directly addressing the issues with the government not doing their job and misleading you on what they're supposed to be doing. Please make sure that you share this out and get it out to more people because we're having important conversations that you need to hear. If you are following us online, please make sure that you share it on your page, share it on your friend's page, or wherever you're watching us at, okay? Do that because it's important. So also, if you guys are watching us online, you can also subscribe. Definitely subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever you're watching us on. And if you could, please do drop a donation. We'll pop your name up on the screen. Let us know you did a donation. You can donate via Cash App. It's $MW Real, the number one. That's $MW Real, the number one. You can also do PayPal or Venmo, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. That's at Marcus C. Williams on PayPal and Venmo. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to raise between $50 to $100 per show so we can get more airtime and so we can get better equipment so that we can do not just this show, but also get more airtime so that we can have more of a conversation and give more of an analysis of what's going on and encourage more people to get involved in politics. Because it doesn't really matter what side of politics you're on, whether you're left or whether you're right. We're honestly in this together as countrymen. And for the things that we don't agree on, there are some things that we do agree on, and we can work together on those things. It's been my experience that most of the things that we disagree on aren't so much that we disagree on them, but we disagree on how to get to the end result. That's mostly what I see and what I witness. So I encourage you, drop a like, drop a heart, hit a share, and do donate if you can. You can do Cash App, MW Real, the number one, that's MW Real, the digit one, or you can do Venmo or PayPal at Marcus C. Williams. So let's get back into it. So if you're not redressing your grievances with your elected officials, what are you doing? I saw a couple of people from across the country going and speaking at their various city council meetings or town council or school board meetings. You know, sometimes people read the books that are in the libraries at the school, which are just atrocious, worse than pornographic. And we're talking about things that are in elementary schools and stuff like that. Terrible, terrible. I saw a lady read one of the books from the school recently, locally, and they got banned from, and this was in Penfield, and they got, which is not too far from where I am in Rochester, and they got banned from going to the school board meetings there because they said that they were using profanity. But they were only reading the book that you got in the children's library at school. If it's not appropriate for the body of the school board, how is that appropriate for children? And then you're limiting somebody's First Amendment right. Forget free speech again. Not free speech. Redressing your grievances with your government. Okay, that is its own specific part of the First Amendment. Redressing your grievances with your government. That is a very distinct part, separate from the free speech part. There's a whole comma there. It's very important. I encourage you guys, hit the like, hit the share, and drop some comments. I'll pop your comments and I'll read them out on air. But this is serious, you guys, because the people that are in power are trying to silence parents when they're trying to speak up against what's going on. That's wrong. That's a serious business, and you can't be doing that. It's a problem. So the question is, who's going to hold these people accountable if they're eliminating your freedom of speech, as people like to say, but in this case specifically, your ability to redress your grievances with your government, right? Like that needs to be challenged in court. But there are a lot of lawyers that won't take those types of cases because there's no money in it for them. So what we need to start doing is, like the left has all of these ACLU and all of these, the Poverty Law Center and all this other nonsense. Where's that for the conservative side? You got what's that one with Stephen Miller? The America First law or something like that. I don't know. I tried to call them a couple of times. Them people don't respond to black people, so I don't know what the deal is. I got some questions. Okay. And when I say they don't respond to black people, I'm just talking about me specifically, not all of us in general. But the point is still there. That's one group. And the left has 50, 60, 70 different groups. They've got them for everything. Every single issue that is a leftist or neo-Marxist issue, they've got some group that covers that. We don't have that in the conservative realm. We don't have that in the Republican realm. It just does not exist, and we need to start focusing on building those things. If you're a lawyer and you're listening to this, we got to get on the job doing those type of stuff, because nobody's going to defend our rights but us. And everybody can't go take the case. How do you say it? Per se, or whatever the thing is. I'm learning. Okay, I don't got all the terminology down, but I know a bit about it. So my Latin isn't so good, you guys. I was only able to get 1 year of Latin in school because they tried to force Spanish on me, but I never liked Spanish, but I was really good at Latin. So that's a whole nother conversation about education, and I'm not going to get into that right now. But back to the First Amendment. Now, we've got freedom of speech. We got the right to redress our grievances with our government. And another part of the First Amendment is what? Freedom of press, right? So freedom of press, people try to say, oh, well, freedom of press is about, I see Truth Rising just dropped a comment. I'm going to post that up in a second. I see that people try to say, oh, freedom of the press is for the media and stuff like that. Bogus nonsense. Freedom of press is not about the media. Freedom of press is if I want to go print something up, I can distribute it in public. I can distribute it the way that I want to. I can distribute it online. I can go out and make a publication, and I can distribute my publication. Okay, it's not specifically about the news media. It's about anybody can write anything and they can go distribute it. That's freedom of press. Freedom of press means if you have access to write something or print something, you can duplicate it and share it out. That's freedom of press. But they don't like it when you start talking about that, because they try to pigeonhole it into one specific thing so that you don't know what your actual rights and liberties are. And we're going to talk about how I've been hearing these crazy people from the federal government and the Congress talk about all this nonsense that isn't so when it comes to the Constitution in a couple of seconds. Let's get to this comment. If you guys are watching, drop a comment. I will share it up on screen and I'll read it on the thing, as long as nobody says anything too crazy. Let's see. Truth Rising TV says, we need to do an X space together. Your full knowledge and on the spaces will grow your following. Yeah, we can do an X space. Let's collaborate on that, my good brother. We'll talk about that soon. Reach out to me. I think you got my number. Shoot me a call. So we got a whole bunch of people that really, really care. But if we don't actually express and address our constitutional rights and liberties, they're going to continue to get stripped away. And they always lie to you and say, oh, well, your rights are being taken away and this is being changed and that's being changed. And whenever they generally say that, it's generally not true. I got a whole bunch of light white stuff in the back of me, behind me, that's messing up this thing. Let me see if I can try to move it over some, if that makes it better. Let's see. Now I gotta move. That did not make it better. That made it worse. Okay, so But anyway, maybe that's a little better. I hope that's better, you guys. It still looks pretty bad. I might just turn out the light. But with everything that we're talking about as far as the Constitution, let's go back to the government not doing their job and stepping above what they're actually supposed to do. Back to the president. I know you guys have seen a lot of what he's been doing lately, and some people are very happy with what he's doing, and some are not. I'm going to try to flick this light and see if it goes off, if that makes it better. Hold on. All right, that looks better. So we see the president right now, and he's been doing a whole bunch of executive orders. He did one of my favorite executive orders the other day. Okay, don't laugh. Making it the Gulf of Mexico and taking it from the Gulf of Mexico and turning it to the Gulf of America. I am so glad that it is the Gulf of America because I am American and later for Mexico. No offense, because the Mexicans that love Mexico, that's good for them. And that's why they don't want it to change. But I'm an American and I love America. And that's why I do want it to change. Like, are you serious? Like, I don't know who named it to begin with, but no, Gulf of America sounds really good to me. And I just wanted to bring that up because that was something that I thought was not just funny, but extremely clever, because that then thereby supersedes all of the ridiculous laws that the previous administration had put in place regulating and what would the word be? Just messing it up so you can't use the Gulf of Mexico the way that we would desire to as a country. So that's really awesome. That was a good strategic plan. I think it's awesome. And if Mexico's mad, later for Mexico. What you gonna do about it? You understand what I'm saying? So that's it. We got a lot of people getting out there that are spurred on by the leftists and the neo-Marxists to protest the deportations, talking about yippee for Mexico, waving the Mexican flag and burning the American flag. Go back. Go back. Mexico's so great. You love Mexico so bad. You want to wave the Mexican flag in America talking about don't deport people. You the first people I'm sending back. I don't care if you're even American. You can get gone because that's treasonous. That's treasonous behavior. Waving a foreign country's flag and burning the American flag. Y'all got to go. All of you. Anybody that's doing that can go. Matter of fact, I've said this before. This is not a hidden secret or something that I try to hide. Anybody that is waving foreign flags in the United States, condemning the United States while flying foreign flags, needs to be ejected from the United States. And I don't care where they're from. I don't care if they're citizens. They need to be ejected too. Even though the UN has some law where you can't strip somebody of their citizenship unless they take up another citizenship somewhere. We don't even recognize the UN like that. So we do what the heck we want in the US. You know what I'm saying? So later for them. And people say, oh, well, Marcus, but it's the UN. You like the UN? You like the blue hats? You mean the people that want to take away your firearms and feed you bugs? You support those people? Like, and I'm not making that up. You can go on the UN website and see that they want to disarm everybody in the world and they want to be the only people with firearms. That is something that they are very open about that people don't talk about. The UN wants to take everybody's arms and they want to be the only people with firearms. And if you guys are watching and you know the blue hats, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Because the blue helmets are the UN nation peacekeepers, allegedly, right? Not like there's a whole bunch of corruption there and they be raping women and funneling money and committing atrocities and stuff like that. We're not going to talk about that, right? Drop a comment, drop a share, hit some hearts, hit some follows, and definitely get this message out there so we can continue to have conversations that are important and actually start, participating in politics and less of the political activism, more of the political participation. So as we continue with this conversation, we've got all of these elected officials now on the Congress level. Again, we've got different branches of government, the executive, okay, that's the president and his, I guess you would say his cabinet, the different departments and stuff like that. And then you've got the excuse me. Then you got Congress, and Congress is broken up into the two chambers, into the House, which is the House of Representatives, and into the Senate, right? And each one does something a little bit different. But they're supposed to be the federal level lawmakers, right? Now, this is important because we just talked that the president and his people that are in charge of the departments control the departments and the departmental policy. So the president has issued a decree to audit, essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, right? There's more nuance to it. I hate nuance. I even hate the word nuance. I hate when people say that. Whenever somebody says that, it makes me want to just a little bit, because they really trying to sell you something weird. Whenever somebody says nuance, they want to sell you something weird, and I'm usually not buying. But anyway, he's trying to push for audits of all of these different departments that handle all types of extra money that goes out, right? Money that goes out. Like most of the money is money that goes out of the country or is distributed out to different agencies and stuff like that internally in the country and things like that. And it's important, right? Like we as the people should know what the money is being spent on. We should know what the money is being spent on. If you're watching, hit the like, hit the share, drop a comment. We got another comment. Who's commenting? Truth Rising. Let's see what you got. Truth says, remember how Hillary destroyed her laptop? Could we face issues? Hold on, going too fast. Could we face issues in the criminal justice system involving corrupt officials taking bats, bullets, and bleach to their files? I don't think you can. I mean, you probably could try, but the fact of the matter is it's usually not illegal for the most part, unless there's like a policy, which isn't even really a law in most cases. If that's only if you're working for a governmental agency and stuff like that. But there's not much that you can do in that type of a situation, because only way you can stop destruction of files and documents is if the court orders them to be kept. There's a specific way to say it, I forget. But if the court orders it, then they have to keep those files. But in the case of Hillary and in the case of like the January 6th stuff for the January 6th commission that they put in, that the Democrats put in place, they deleted all of the files. Something like 100,000 hours of videotape and tape testimonies and recordings were all deleted. If there was nothing to hide there, why would you delete all of that before the new administration came in? Because they would take that information and then they'd actually show it to the public, because you weren't showing it to the public. And then the public might actually see that stuff wasn't exactly the way that you were trying to make it out to be. That's jacked up. That's really, really jacked up. Anyway, we got another comment. But before that, please, you guys, do donate. We're trying to raise between $50 and $100 an episode so that we can buy more airtime. Airtime does cost, you guys, so we need your assistance there, and to try to get some more equipment, some better camera stuff and stuff like that, so we can broadcast even better for you, because I know sometimes you guys see it jumping and stuff like that, or the quality looks low. So you can donate on Cash App, $MW Real, the number one, that's $MW Real, the digit 1. Or you can do Venmo or PayPal, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. You can do it on Venmo or PayPal. That's at Marcus C. Williams. Please donate whatever you can. $5, $10, every single dollar helps, because we're trying to get more airtime. Every time we do shows and stuff like that, that costs money. We could really use your help and support. And if you want to end up being an advertiser, please do let me know. Reach out via the internet or whatever the case is. And if you drop a donation and you say you want to advertise, drop a donation and say you want to advertise, and I will reach out. Okay. So whatever you can, 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks. If you can drop like $20 or $25 and then we can get some people to match it, that's great. Every little bit helps. Or even if you could drop 50, that's fantastic, because we're trying to raise $50 to $100 an episode to keep the show going and actually start doing some more stuff. All right, let's check out this next comment. And if you guys want to drop a comment, I will pop it up and we will do our best to get to it. Let's see. Says, if one has legal matters coming up in the coming months, I'm predicting a little bit of a disruption involving audits and investigation and the destruction of files. Probably, like we were just talking about. But again, it's going to be hard to hold people to account with destroyed files. Let's see, we got another comment. Think Letitia James, think corrupt judges in every county. You know, that's something that a lot of people talk about, is the corruption in the court system and stuff like that. But nobody really ever wants to do anything about it. You know, they talk about it like it's some vaporous, ever-present issue, but nobody really ever wants to address it, you know. And it's a serious issue because there is corruption in the court system. But with, for instance, Letitia James is, while she's part of the court system, she's a little more than that because she's the attorney general. Again, this goes back to people doing something else that's not actually their job. Okay. She's always, I see her on Letitia James on TV for everything else but her actual job. Where are the white collar criminals that you're arresting? Where are the drug lords that you're arresting? Where are the people doing this drug trafficking and gun trafficking into our communities that you're arresting? Who are you going after? You know what I'm saying? Like, you going after nonsense about nonsense and then talking about, oh, the president did this and I'm mad over that. Nobody cares what you're mad about. We want you to hold these criminals to account that are destroying our neighborhoods and our community and fleecing us on a large scale on our tax dollars. It's crazy. It's crazy that she does everything else but her job. It really, really bothers me, you guys. And I'm sure it bothers many of you as well. We got another comment from Kevin here. Kevin, let's see what you got. Kevin says, on PayPal, if you donate to Marcus with a checking account or funds already loaded on your PayPal balance, you can avoid PayPal credit card fees. Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate you for putting that out there. You guys, please do donate. You can do Cash App, $MW Real, the number one. That's $MW Real, the number one. We are the digit one. We are trying to raise between $50 to $100 an episode to keep the show going, to keep the lights on, and to get some more airtime and try to start saving for some better camera and audio equipment so it looks better and it sounds better when we broadcast. So you can donate via Cash App, which is the $MW Real, the digit one, or you can do PayPal and Venmo, and that is at Marcus C. Williams on PayPal and Venmo. We also have the option of Give, Send, Go, which is givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. So PayPal or Venmo, that's at Marcus C. Williams, or givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. And whatever you can donate, $5, $10, $25, $50, $100 is awesome, and it helps us keep going forward and getting more information out there. All right, let's continue with the show. I got to say this real quick before we get too deep into it. Thank you for tuning into The Divide on 106.3 FM WRFZ, Rochester Free Radio. This is The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. And if you are following us on the radio, please remember that you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Marcus C. Williams channel on YouTube. We look forward to seeing you there for all the other shows and broadcasts that we do as well. So, as we go back into people in the government doing stuff that's not part of their job and crying bloody murder and crying wolf when it ain't none. So we just saw the president freeze USAID a couple of days ago it's just a 90-day pause on USAID. But USAID funnels a lot of money to other countries, and a lot of times it circles back into people's pockets in the United States who happen to be either benefactors or cousins of different elected officials and their friends. So somebody make sense. That sounds exactly like those people need to be audited. Then they also run all types of foreign aid programs where money is supposed to go overseas to these different companies and to these different countries and stuff. And then the money never gets there. We never see anything get done. Look at Zelensky. Zelensky just last week got up on the TV talking about, well, you know, all that money that the U.S. was supposed to send Ukraine, I've only seen half of it. I don't know where the rest of the money is. We never actually got it. Now, he's as crooked as the letter Z, okay? For real, he's big bad and corrupt, and they've been stealing millions and millions of dollars. But I 100% believe him that they are missing billions of dollars that never actually got over there. Because that's what happened when we send all of this money all over the place. The money never gets there. So of course these type of things should be audited and stuff like that. And it's ridiculous that there will be any senators or congressmen opposing this. It starts to make you wonder, are they on the take? Does it benefit them? And who are their relations and who are their patrons that are getting money and benefiting from this stuff? So you take somebody like Ilhan Omar. I know some of you love her, some of you hate her. Okay, I know. But USAID is the reason why she's here right now, because she was part of a talent scouting thing where they made her like a poster child for USAID and funded her and all this other nonsense. And that's the reason why she's in Congress right now, which she shouldn't be. Okay, because she went over and did a whole presentation in Somalia talking about she's putting Somalia first and this, that, and third, and da 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 da. I don't care about Somalia. No offense. I do care about Somalia in the greater scheme of things. But as far as it being us being the United States, I care about the homeless people outside. I care about the starving people outside. You understand what I'm saying? That's for real. Yeah, Somalia got a whole bunch of problems, but Somalia got more corruption than a little bit. Somalia got this is one of the most corrupt nations in the I was gonna say in the universe, but in the universe, right? But in the whole world. And you talking about, oh well, they're not gonna get any money. Good. And it's not just Somalia. I don't want to send any money to anybody. I don't want to send any money to France. I don't want to send any money to Germany. I don't want to send any to Australia. I don't want to send any to Argentina. I don't want to send any to any other country. Why are we sending money to other countries when we need it here? And you got the nerve to get out there, supposed to be representing the United States, talking about, oh, the president is stopping the money from flowing to all these other countries, and boo-hoo, the poor people there. No, the poor people here that are struggling in our country. Plus, every single dollar that goes to a foreign country is another dollar added to the U.S. debt. And right now, the U.S. debt is something like $150,000 per individual. In the nation. We got over, what did they say? We got 330 million people in this country. It's over $150,000 a piece. Don't even get into the fact how they auction you as collateral for that funding. It's so disgusting. It makes you want to spit. It's ridiculous. If you guys are catching us online, please hit share, hit like, drop a heart, drop a comment. I'll pop your comment up on the screen. And if you do donate, please drop a comment and I will post it up on the screen and encourage some other people to donate too. Hopefully that'll encourage them as well. And that is $5, $10, $15, $20, $50, $100, whatever you can do. We're really looking to raise $50 to $100 an episode. So let's continue. So these crazy people are out here protesting USAID because they cut off their funding for all their nonsense. Now, soon they're going to do an audit on the Department of Education. Oh boy, I can just imagine the waste and fraud they're going to find there. Whoo, boy, howdy. I know they've been funneling all types of money there, because if you guys know anything about the federal funding that goes through there for years and years and years, decades, probably since its inception or not very close to it, there's been missing money from the Department of Education on the federal level. Nobody knows where it goes. It never really gets where it's supposed to. And then there's specific funding for specific things that never seems to get to the appropriate educational services or schools or stuff like that. And it's really weird. So we'll see what corruption comes out when they start to audit that. And they're auditing the Treasury now. And the Congress people are pushing back, talking about, oh, well, Musk is an unelected official and he's a bad man and this, that, and the third, because he could have all of you guys' information and he shouldn't have access to that. Are you serious? Like, you guys don't do anything to protect our data from China. China's constantly stealing our data. There was just a giant breach in like 5 different federal departments and China was stealing our data. It was all on the news, even though it wasn't covered very much. You can just go search it on the internet. I'm sure you'll find it. It's in like the past 2 months. They got the Department of Defense. They got the U.S. Treasury. Like in November, the U.S. Treasury, China like got all of the files from the U.S. Treasury. I think they said it was like something like, I don't even remember. The first report was like something like 150,000 terabytes or something like that. And somebody was like, well, it's a petabyte or something like that. And I'm like, I don't even understand those numbers, like in practicality, because the amount of data that either of those numbers are is huge. It's ginormous. We're talking about data the size of all of the internet stolen. Crazy. So I mean, it's really ridiculous that they're all of a sudden like, oh well, Elon shouldn't be able to have this access or whatever because he can be misusing your stuff. Listen, you don't got to sell me that. I don't think the government should have access to all our information. If any of you guys follow me and stuff like that, you know I'm really, really big on privacy. Okay. And I think the government has too much data on us all the time, and I'm not with it at all. Not even a little bit. So saying that, oh, well, Elon shouldn't have that much information on us, 100%, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you 100%. You're not telling me nothing that I don't already feel. But more so, I'm concerned that the government has it to begin with because it continues to get stolen by China and we're not doing anything about it. You understand what I'm saying? If I was the president, I'd tell China, we're going to start pulling the plug on some of your data centers. Keep it up. Every time we find out that you hacking or done touch some stuff, we pulling the plug on some of your data centers. Feel froggish leap. Because China only understands strength. And a lot of people in this country have become so, how could you say it in a nice manner? Soft-minded, that they feel like, oh, everybody's just generally good and stuff like that. That's not how the real world works. Other countries only respect strength. You know, it's like the old song, I forget who it's by, but it's a money, power, respect. It's the key to life. Money, power, respect. It'll keep you eating right. See, and that's the way that it is. These people are about money, power, and respect. And if you don't have the power to back up what's going on, they're not going to follow you. And China just railroad, run over everybody the way that they feel like, do what they want, because China be like, nobody's going to flex on us. Shoot, listen, look, they just be happy that I'm not president right now because I be reading them the riot act every 3 days because they always up to some shenanigans. Look at how they've basically taken over. China's basically taken over Jamaica. Go look that up. That's crazy. And Nicaragua. That's crazy. So when Trump gets out here and talks about the Panama Canal has been taken over by the Chinese, that is the truth. That is the truth. And you should see their what do you call it? Miscegenation programs that the Chinese are doing in Africa. Miscegenation is interracial breeding programs because they're trying to breed more Chinese mixes over there, and they treat them terribly. It's just a whole another separate conversation. But they're trying to do that so that they can gain a foothold in Africa. It's crazy. But again, look at Jamaica as an example. Talk to a Jamaican. They'll tell you. It's big bad. Okay? And this is a serious, serious issue. But we don't identify it as being an issue because everybody wants us to be soft and foo-foo nice. Because they try to play with your emotions here in America because they know that for the last couple of decades, we've been softened. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. And it's a serious, serious issue. It looks like we got another comment. Who commented? Kevin, what you got? Biden ended up giving me more credits to the IDR forgiveness. Is that supposed to be loan forgiveness? IDR forgiveness than I should have got, although not enough for forgiveness either way. They counted my time in college. That does not qualify. Well, you know, Kevin, that goes back to the whole fact that, like I said earlier, they'll sell you a dream and really it's a lie. It's all misdeception. It's not misdeception. I'm out here making up words. You know, it's a word now. I just made it up. But it's all misdirection and deception, you know, misdeception. That's a good one. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. They'll sell you something, say, oh, well, this is good for you. This is what we're going to do. They never deliver. They never deliver. And if they do deliver, it's only for their certain chosen few. And that is a very, very serious, real problem. If you guys are following us online, hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, drop a comment. You guys, drop a comment, even if it's just a heart emoji, even if it's just a thumbs up emoji. Here's what I really want you to do. Everybody watching right now, take 2 seconds and drop the American flag emoji in the comments. Wherever you're watching us, X, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever we're on Twitch, all of those places. Take 2 seconds and just drop the American flag emoji or a thumbs up emoji in the comments, because every single comment helps get it out to more people. Definitely also share on your page and share to other groups. So it's really, really, really serious what we're facing in this country right now. And it's good that they're starting to audit all of these different departments. You know, I see what's happened with Mexico and Canada and the tariffs, and people are like, oh, it's the end of the world. There are going to be tariffs on them. And then what happened? Trump was like, I'm going to put these tariffs on them February 1st. And they were like, no, you're not. And then he's like, the tariffs are going to start tomorrow. And they're like, oh, shoot, we are going to do what he says. After they were in all that fluster and bluster talking about, oh, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And you did it the same day that he said he was going to start. And now there's a pause for 30 days for Mexico and Canada to get their acts together. Okay. And they said that they already are. China's beefing up security. They sent 10,000 troops to the border, to the northern border, to stop people from getting over and to help secure it, and also deal with some of the cartel activity and whatever the case is. Shannon Baum, or whatever her name is, okay, she's barely Mexican. That's a whole nother conversation. We're not having that conversation today. Okay. But Shannon Baum's like, oh, well, how did the guns get in the country? We know how the guns got in the country, fool. The same way that the guns got into Mexico is the same way that the guns got into the black community. The government put them there. And she's acting like she's shaming the American government. American government don't care that they're running guns into Mexico. You crazy. They're running guns into their own towns and community. You think they give a flying monkey's uncle about Mexico? And then if you really cared about Mexico, we know that you paid off, that you are affiliated with the cartels, because they killed 130 people. They assassinated 130 different people for her to become president. There were 130 other people that were running for president. Each one of them were killed summarily. Okay, executed, assassinated. Different candidates for president so that she can be in president. Make it make sense. Okay, and she got some daggone nerve, but it's okay. You want to paint America as the bad guys? We be that. As long as we be America. I want to be the bad behind America that Japan thinks that we are. I want to be the America like Americans when they put us in animes. Okay, if you guys watch animes, you see how they represent us in animes. We're always very cocksure and very strong and very, very powerful and stuff like that. You know, that's the America that I want to be, you know. And it's interesting that we're really working on starting to get back to that type of a persona. And I love it. I love it. You understand what I'm saying? I want to be able to go tell Algeria to jump and they ask how high. You know, I'm just using an example. We don't got nothing going on with Algeria, but that's my point. You understand what I'm saying? As an American, and people say, oh, well, that's bad. I don't live in another country. Who do you think I'm going jockey for? Somebody that's not my country? That sounds crazy to me. But speaking of all types of crazy stuff, I want to get into the last night was the Super Bowl. And I saw people that were saying, oh man, John Baptiste's rendition of the Star Spangled Banner was so fantastic and everything like that. And I'm like, I guess his piano playing was good. I didn't really particularly care for his singing. I think he should have played the piano. They should have had somebody else sing. That's just me. But I appreciate anybody singing the national anthem. It don't matter. Okay, that's the national anthem. You understand what I'm saying? That's the national anthem. All right, every day, all day. That's my favorite song. Y'all, that and then Battle Hymn of the Republic. That's my second favorite song. Okay, but when it came to that, everybody's like, "Oh, it's so awesome! It's so awesome!" Then they gave some gripe about the lift every voice and sing, them singing that. Again, I don't know who chose that for the Black national anthem when it was written by a white man or whatever the case is. And I never voted that that should be the Black national anthem, because if it was me, I would not have chosen that as a Black national anthem. I think that that song by what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name, but the song is called "Win." I like that song. That sounds like America. It goes simply. I'm gonna paraphrase it because you can't say all. Like, I think it needs to be edited a little bit to become the national anthem, but I think that it's a great national anthem for America. It goes win, 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 win. F everything else. Win, 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 win. I said, yeah, that sounds like America. I said, that sounds like America. That'll be the perfect national anthem. So I don't know who chose "Lift Every Voice and Sing" as the so-called Black national anthem. I did not approve that. The Black Council did not get together. We did not vote on that. That is just something that a whole bunch of white people have been telling us is that, and I've never been with that. We have one national anthem. You know what I'm saying? That's the Star Spangled Banner. Actually, if you guys read the actual Star Spangled Banner, there's some more, I guess you call them stanzas or whatever, because of poetry. There are some more stanzas after the part that we sing generally, and those are fire too. I think there's a couple parts that are even more fire than the regular part of the national anthem we sing every time. I encourage you to look up the whole Star Spangled Banner. But anyway, with that being said, I thought it was okay what John Baptiste did. Wasn't my favorite rendition of the national anthem ever. Speaking of national anthem in Canada, so they were singing the national anthem in some Canadian hockey games. You know how we do the hockey with Canada, right? And they were booing the American singers of the national anthem because they're Canadians and they're dicks. So I was like, Canada's up here booing a Black lady with glasses that's in a wheelchair that's singing the national anthem. 100% terrorists tomorrow. 100% terrorists tomorrow. Listen, you understand what I'm saying? Like, y'all, we ain't playing these games. You know, drink water, stay hydrated. Okay. We're about to go into that in 2 seconds. Please, you guys, make sure that you're sharing. Drop a heart, drop a comment, and we'll share this out to more people. If you do drop a comment, we will read it on air. So definitely do that. And I see a lot of you guys watching, but drop some hearts and drop some thumbs up. Every heart and thumbs up matters. And if you're watching us in the comments, just real quick, drop us a thumbs up emoji, a smiley emoji, or an American flag emoji. Definitely drop us an American flag emoji in the comments. Do that right now, you guys. That's the least you can do and the most help that you can give. I appreciate you all. So with Canada saying, booing the national anthem, people are like, oh, well, Canada's mad at us or whatever. Canada ain't mad at nobody. They a little feeling some type of way, and they ain't got no pull to pull. You understand what I'm saying? We protect them with our military, our Air Force, okay? We do 40% of their trade is with the U.S. They ain't got nowhere to go. What are they talking about? And Trump said, you know, he's really serious, honestly, about making Canada part of the United States. And I think that if that's the move, dude, you got to go speak to, what's his, King Charles? King Charles, because King Charles owns Canada. That's right. Canada's not even their own country. They're a commonwealth. They're still owned by the English royal family. I don't even think it's Britain themselves. I think it's just the English royal family, which is more crazy. So you can just go do that and see what they say. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that would probably be the best first start. But they're talking about, oh, well, we'll never do that. We've got too much pride or whatever. No, you don't. You're Canada. You don't have any pride. You've lost your pride a long time ago when you gave in to all the Chinese and the socialists in your country. You're crushing your own people. Where is your Canadian pride when you're crushing your own people? If you guys are in the U.S. right now, and you guys, I know a lot of us live in places like New York and California and stuff like that, where they're really putting the screws to us and crushing us. Man, let me tell you about Canada. They're doing them way worse and more dirty. Not only are they encouraging them to take medically aided induced death, that's suicide. You understand what I'm saying? They're encouraging their own people to suicide, which is a problem for me. Don't even get me started. But they're encouraging that. They're pushing in all of this crazy stuff to deteriorate their social structure. They've taken all of their firearms. Remember, they were debanking people in Canada, preventing you from being able to use your bank account if you had sent $5 to the peaceful protesters. that were in Ottawa and stuff like that. Like, are you serious? Like, Canada is not a country with anything that would even resemble pride because of the way that they're treating their people. What you got to be proud of? A whole lot of nothing. And Canada can't even say that it's got such a rich history of being so awesome, because they don't. That's just a fact. I mean, it might sound mean or a little harsh, but it's true. What do you got? War crimes? Canada's committed more war crimes than pretty much anybody else. They make up war crimes. Canada's really, really bad when it comes to stuff like that. And we never ever get a chance to talk about how bad Canada is when it comes to warfare. Like, they just do war crimes and do war crimes. They bad and not good. So, I mean, really, what do you have to fall back on to say that you're so awesome? We love Canada, right? Like, we love Canada. As Americans, they're supposed to be our soft neighbor to the north. That's all nice and stuff like that, but they haven't been. They ain't been treating us right for a long, long time. And we deserve a lot better. So annexing them would give us a chance to get a lot of more rich minerals and stuff like that, but it also would give us a territorial defense advantage over Russia and China, which are very serious near-peer competitors in the military space. And it's growing with the continued development of icebreakers and nuclear-powered icebreakers that are being stationed in the Arctic. And China now calling itself, we're a near Arctic power, so we can go into the Arctic. No, you can't. You don't got nothing that connects to the Arctic. Well, how do you get to go up there? Because Canada does what the heck they want. And we need to start putting the screws on them, okay? Because they're doing too much. If you guys are following us, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you're listening to us on the radio, remember you can subscribe and follow on the Marcus C. Williams channel on YouTube. Please, we're trying to raise $50 to $100 every episode to try to get some more airtime, because airtime does cost you guys, and we want to do more shows. And we also got to keep the lights on, how they say, right? So if you can donate 10, 15, $50, whatever you can, it'd be a great help. We're trying to raise $50 to $100 an episode. You can do that on Cash App. That's $MW Real, the number one. That's $MW Real 1. Or you can do Venmo and PayPal, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. So Venmo and PayPal is at Marcus C. Williams. Let's continue with the show. We also have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. You can donate there as well. So this is very, very serious. What's going on with Canada? People saying, oh, well, we're going to go to war. Canada ain't going to war with nobody. You sound dumb. But to talk about the president said something interesting the other day. He said that we really could get Canada to capitulate, to give in, but it would take a little bit of extra measures. And he's not sure if most Americans would have the pain tolerance to do that. But I'd say, honestly, after the last 4 years, bring it. You understand what I'm saying? The last 4 years have been super, super trash. We've been struggling hard because of the previous presidency. And don't even get me started. I got a lot to talk about it. But anyway, I say bring it. And I know a lot of people don't have that level of pain tolerance, but in less than 6 months, Canada will give in. They'd give in because, again, 40% of their economy is involved with the U.S. You lose 40% of your money, you telling them you're going to do anything. You understand what I'm saying? At minus 40%, you might find yourself under somebody's desk from time to time. You can't afford minus 40% of your money. That's crazy. So they'd give in rather quickly. But I'm not saying that that's something that we should do. But there have been statehood movements in places like Alberta and British Columbia and Saskatchewan for some years. I've been following them. So that's interesting there. But in the last couple of days, Trump has been talking about making more tariffs. He's putting in place, he says tomorrow or Wednesday, reciprocal tariffs. For every country that has tariffs on the U.S., he's going to put tariffs on them of the same level. So if they don't come down on their tariffs, we're not coming down on our tariffs. So like that's what's saying, like, let's say they put it on our electronic equipment. You know, they put like a 30 or 40% tariff. So we're going to 30, 40% tariff them. So that's a really, really good idea to try to bring down the cost of us for international trade and open up more world markets for the United States. That's very, very good. That's an important thing. So I'm with it. I think that's a fantastic idea. But he's also said some stuff like he said, he said something else very, very interesting about Gaza. He said that the US should buy Gaza. And some people were saying, oh, the US is going to take Gaza and they're going to send a military over there, whatever the case is. Now, I am all for American imperialism, but I am not for the Middle East and us going over there at all. I'm not a big sand country person. We've covered that before, and as to why. However, I am about restoring the Levant to Christianity. Return the Middle East to Christianity. Okay? And people, we're not even a Christian nation. Listen, yes, we are. Over 70% of Americans identify as Christians, and we need to get those numbers up. What y'all doing? Call yourself Christians. We need to get those numbers up. That's rookie amateur numbers. 70% are Christian. We need to be 90 to 100% Christian. What are you doing? Get out there. Go evangelize. Go proselytize. Go convert some people. You understand what I'm saying? Look at the Christians in America need to be converting other people like the Muslims in England are converting these other people to Islam in England. Okay? We need to be on the task, and Christians ain't standing up and they ain't doing business. So we need to be getting up on there and doing it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, return the Middle East to Christianity. But that being said, I'm not a big fan of us going over there and getting involved over there. But he says that he wants to buy it and he wants to redevelop it. And some people were like, oh, well, he's going to make it like the American Riviera in the Mediterranean and this, that, and the third, da, 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 da. I don't know. You're not selling it to me, right? Like, I'm like, that doesn't sound terrible. It probably won't really benefit me, but you're not making me say no. And I was already at no before you said it. And like, you're just kind of making me think like, well, maybe we should, because then it'll bring in more money. I'd say what we should do is Trump talked about doing this sovereign wealth fund. If we are going to take Gaza and buy Gaza, then what we should do is with all the redevelopment and stuff, investment that comes through there, all of that should fund the United States sovereign wealth fund. That would be something I might be like, maybe it's not such a bad idea. That would be an interesting concept. But again, I'm not very big on that. However, all things being equal, it would give us access to putting some very serious naval and air force bases in that area, which are desperately needed by the United States over there. Plus, it's right by the Suez Canal. And if China tries to feel froggish and act like they want to leap, we can pop something up on them, like they did with the Evergreen. China blocked the riverway there. If you guys don't remember that, go look up the Evergreen ship and see what it did to our trade and stuff like that. I know a lot of people have forgotten now, but that was bad, bad, bad. And it backed up a whole bunch of our, supply chain for months and months and months, and drove up the cost on all types of stuff, including computer chips, the IC chips that go in pretty much anything that's electric. It was real, real bad. And we're still suffering the impact from that right now, which is why I'm so happy with the president reshoring so much technology and development and manufacturing, which goes into the deal with Nippon Steel. Nippon is Japan, okay? Japan Steel, and them trying to buy U.S. steel. And the president was like, nah, y'all can't buy U.S. steel, but you can invest. And I'm like, sounds good to me, okay? I like Japan. We've had our differences in the past, but when you drop two small suns on a country, they came back pretty strong and pretty good after that. And they've been some of our greatest allies ever. So speaking of the stuff over there in that part of the world, in the South Pacific, we need to work on building our relations back with the Philippines and get the Philippines to come back be part of the United States. Philippines, we love you. Please come back home. We know we didn't treat you so well the last time you were here, but we'll give you full statehood. Fair enough? Okay? Or you could be a territory and then you have more autonomy. You pick, but come back home, baby. Come back home. So for you, those of you guys who don't know the history of the Philippines, the U.S. controlled the Philippines for a while, and we were very helpful over there until we weren't. You understand what I'm saying? America has a history of doing stuff like that. And then they were like, listen, we don't want to be part of this because y'all not treating us right, and we need to go fix that. Same thing with Cuba. We should have never gave up Cuba, but Cuba's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. We're not getting into Cuba now. However, got my eye on you, Cuba. Anyway, we need to go do business with the Philippines and tell them to come back home. So with that being said, we've making this deal with Japan Steel to help invest in U.S. steel. And I think that that would help modernize the U.S. steel development. It would help modernize and make things more efficient in U.S. steel. Trump says that he's happy with the management of U.S. steel right now. I don't know much about their management people. Like, I have a general concept of who is in charge over there right now, but I don't know them like that. So I'm hoping to see it grow. And tomorrow or Wednesday, as he said, he's going to start putting 25% tariffs on aluminum and steel from any other countries. So that's fantastic. That'll start getting these refineries and these jobs back in places like Pittsburgh and maybe Philadelphia and other parts over there. Maybe we can do that. So that might be very, very interesting. But we need to build some more refineries here in the US anyway. And I'm talking about oil refineries. I'm just throwing that in there too. We need them, especially on the East Coast. We need an oil refinery in New York State, but our current tyrannical administration isn't going to try to let that happen. So I'd say we need to put one in Northern Jersey. Okay. See if we can put one real close to New York City, right over there, maybe in the Port of Jersey. Okay. I forget what that port is actually called. I don't think it's called the Port of Jersey, but it's called something. Anyway, right over there. We can probably get one over by Baltimore also. Okay, Baltimore already smells like a cesspool, so I think that that would actually clear up some of the bad smell. I love you, Baltimore. I love you, Baltimore. I really do, but it smells bad when you go into Baltimore. I don't know if you guys have ever been into Baltimore, but it smells bad. But we need more oil refineries so that we can increase production. Speaking of which, and deals with Japan, Trump just announced that he's doing a deal with Japan to do a pipeline from Alaska to Japan. Do you know how much of a major, not just a production project that is, but how big of a awesome, like that's awesome for us, right? Like all of that extra oil to go to and gas to go to Japan, that's billions of dollars a year. That's worth so much. And if we structure that type of a deal right, it would also increase our oil exports around that area so we can even challenge places like China. That would be amazing. Could you imagine us selling more oil to Vietnam and stuff like that? That would be fantastic for our country and building relationships. That'd be wondrous, you know, so I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So I think that's a fantastic idea. So that's a very, very big thing too. We're working on restoring production in the United States. You can't beat it. So, but you know who's really standing in the way of stuff like that right now? Democrats. And the person you have to ask is yourself as to why. Why are they doing that? Why don't they want our country to flourish? Why are they trying to stand up and say, oh, we need USAID because they're getting funded by them, right? Why don't they want us to produce more energy here in the United States? Because they want to continue raising the rates. Look at New York State. They just passed the Kathy Hochul's trying to put together some super fun project to siphon money away from all the big oil companies and manufacturing and stuff like that, talking about, oh, you guys owe us money because you did stuff to the environment, and if you want to do business here. Nonsense and chicanery. That is going to come into the cost of increasing our natural gas and energy prices 40%. Bills in New York State for electricity are already officially up 30% year over year. So what are we really doing? How's your electric bill looking, you guys? How's your gas bill looking, you guys? It's gone up and up and up and up. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So this is something that we really need to be talking about, but we don't talk about these things. because a lot of people don't want to talk about these things. And that's why these types of conversations are so important. And I'm glad that we have this show to be able to discuss some of these things. So I encourage you guys, hit the like, hit the share, and definitely help get this message out there. Drop some comments. Drop an American flag in the comment. That's all I'm asking. Drop a thumbs up in the comment. That's all I'm asking. If you can do that, that'll be fantastic to help with the algorithm to get us out to more people. Or, which I would also think would be very awesome of you, if you can donate like 20 or 50 or $100 to the show. Each show we're trying to raise $50 to $100 to get more airtime so that we can continue the show and make more productions and start to try to save to invest in better equipment so we can do more shows, better shows. Because I know sometimes you guys tell me about the stuff looks foggy or looks slow and stuff like that. So I need your help. So please donate. You can donate on Cash App. That's $MW Real, the digit 1. That's $MW Real, the number 1. Or you can do Venmo or PayPal, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. That's Venmo or PayPal at Marcus C. Williams. We also have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. Please donate so that we can start getting more production time and saving to get some better camera and audio equipment. And definitely share this out and get it out to more people. Let's get back to the show. So with all of these deals coming back in the US and the president doing all of these audits at the same time, the Democrats are trying to sue for every single little thing that the president is doing. But people keep investing in our country. And I'm so happy. Japan is investing $1 trillion in our country, not to mention the individual investments from different other people in Japan. Nippon Steel, like we were just talking about, they're going to invest probably a few $100 billion. Sun Masayoshi-san from SoftBank, he said that he's going to invest $500 billion, which is $500 billion. You got it? MBS, the guy from Saudi Arabia, he said he's going to invest money here. So we're really on the come up. Really, really good. We got other foreign companies and countries trying to develop and invest here, and it's fantastic. But we got people that are out here really trying to stop America from prospering, that are supposed to be in office representing Americans. It's disgusting and despicable because they're only representing themselves. It's so despicable it makes me want to spit. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's abhorrent. And honestly, somebody needs to take a belt to their backside, because they clearly need a spanking, and not the sexy kind of spanking either. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about when you were bad in school, got that bad report card type of spanking. Okay, when you broke your parents' favorite vase or the television type of spanking. That's what they need, because they ain't right. So as we continue this conversation about all of the awesome stuff that's going on in America, I want to get back to the Super Bowl real quick. So we talked about John Baptiste and his singing of the Star Spangled Banner, and we talked about the Lift Every Voice and Sing thing also. But I want to talk about the halftime show. But first, did you guys see Taylor Swift get booed? Oh man, they booed Taylor Swift hard. They're like, we don't like you, go home. That was funny. They booed her real, real bad. You can catch the videos online. It was terrible. It was so terribly funny. It's beyond anything that you can imagine. And then people tried to say, oh, well, they booed Trump. No, they didn't. They did not boo Trump. Don't lie. They lie so hard. It's crazy the way that they try to manipulate people's mind. And people believe them. People believe them. And that's what's scary. Speaking of people believing crazy people, I saw Trump do an interview yesterday, and somebody asked him a question. They were asking him about the lawfare that the Democrats are trying to throw at him and stuff like that to prevent him from doing what he's doing to try to work to make America better. And they said, "Oh, well, your Vice President J.D. Vance said that if the court has their ruling and they can try to enforce it." And they asked Trump, they said, well, Trump, what do you think about that? Trump says, what? What are you talking about? He said, who are you guys anyway? And they're the Huffington Post. Now, if you guys don't know, we just found out that the Huffington Post has been getting hundreds of millions of dollars from USAID. That part. The government is funding parts of the media. Them, I think it was the New York Times and Politico and the BBC and a couple of other news outlets the government has been funding. Again, USAID has been just a extension of the CIA and Project Mockingbird. Go look that up. So it's a real serious issue. It's a real serious issue. I'm glad that they're working to comb through all of the issues there. But they asked him, they said, Trump, JD Vance said that the court has its ruling and then they should try to enforce it. So now, and Trump said, no, that's not true. You guys don't know what you're talking about. So now, if you guys do know history, or if you don't know history, I'm going to drop this history gem on you real quick. Andrew Jackson, a Democrat, one of the worst, most racist people you would ever meet or see in this country until Lyndon B. Johnson and his Great Society Project and the deindustrialization of city centers and the purposeful breakdown of the black family done by the government. That's Lyndon B. Johnson. He was a terrible, horrible man, and he was a known racist. Okay, like he was openly racist. Okay, and if you listen to his old stuff, you can there's not even it's not one of those things where you think, or oh, maybe he said something off cuff or whatever. No, the man was an open racist. It's not even a secret. Everybody knows. Okay, but the Democrats worship him like he's a god. So then let's go back to that's Lyndon B. Johnson, and like I said, Andrew Jackson was the worst racist president until we got Lyndon B. Johnson. So that means that Andrew Jackson must have been pretty bad. If you guys aren't familiar with Andrew Jackson was the one who pushed for the Trail of Tears, which moved a lot of my people off our land in the how do you say, what do you call that area? I guess you say on the southern east coast, right? By the Georgia region and stuff over there, and pushed them over out into Oklahoma and stuff like that. Not all of them went, but some of them did, but hundreds of thousands of them died. They say it's only a couple of 10,000s of them died, but no, it was way more than that. It was way more than that. Now, famously, in relation to that, the Supreme Court, the case got taken to the Supreme Court about the Indian Removal Act. And they said that you can't do the Indian Removal Act. You can't force those people off their land or whatever. And Andrew Jackson famously said, the court has their ruling. Now let them enforce it. And he sent the military down there to move all of the people off of the land, and which started the Trail of Tears, which tens of thousands, according to what they try to tell you, but really hundreds of thousands of American Indians were starved to death, went through horrible conditions to try to relocate them to Oklahoma, which is not my people's homeland or our territory at all. And that is a very serious problem. So that's what they were trying to attach the Trump to. That's crazy. That's crazy. So when Trump said, you don't know what you're talking about, I know that he knew what they were talking about. Because when I heard the person say that, I said, hold the bleep up. You understand what I'm saying? I said, they said, what? I said, I know what you're saying. I know where that saying comes from. Because it's a famous quote if you follow political history or you know anything about the Indian reclassification, the DOS rolls, what do you call those things? The census reclassifications of American Indian as Negro and stuff like that. If you know about that type of stuff, you know about the Trail of Tears and you know about that court ruling. So that's crazy to me that they tried to attach him like that. But we're not even going to dig into that. But that just shows you how bad the media is. Again, and the Huffington Post was being paid by USAID. So all they did was ask a question like that to try to slander that man. They dirty dogs over there. I'm trying to tell you. Okay. And people say, oh, well, Marcus, you're a Trumper or whatever. I'm not. I like policy that benefits America. I don't care where the policy comes from. Does it benefit America? I'm also not a biggest fan of Elon Musk. I tell people that openly and all the time. Okay? Not a big fan of Elon Musk. Not a big fan of JD Vance. Definitely not a fan of, what's the boy name? Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay? He's a serious problem. okay, in the conservative movement. I know a lot of you like him or whatever the case is. He's a sleazeball, a slimeball, and he's a problem. Okay, he is so fake and phony, and he only cares about himself. I believe he would sell his child out for enough money. Okay, it's very sickening because he goes out there and talks about, oh, God this, God that, and he's a Hindu. He don't believe in God. Okay, don't play in a whole bunch of Christians' face talking about God. Don't do that. Okay, but back to Elon Musk and the other people that I'm not too fond of. I say when I'm not fond of something, when Trump does something that I'm not fond of, I talk about it. So don't try to pigeonhole me as one person or another, and this is what I am and what I'm not. I'm Marcus C. Williams. I am only myself, and I have my own independent thoughts, my ideas, and all of them are based in fact, that are based off of analysis of what is actually going on and what people have said out of their mouth and how they operate. Like, I don't play them games. Okay. The Democrats, I call them out. The Republicans, I call them out. The socialists, the Marxists, the conservatives, wherever they messing up, I'm calling them out. And that goes back to this whole thing with the Super Bowl and them and people and Kendrick Lamar's performance. If you guys know who Kendrick Lamar is before the Super Bowl, or you know any of his music, he's pretty daggone good. I'm not the biggest fan of Kendrick Lamar. I just don't really listen to rap like that. I usually listen to, apparently now I listen to gospel. Apparently that's the thing I'm doing now. Who knew? Never thought I'd be that person, but I am now. But before that, even I'm regularly listening to positive, uplifting, encouraging music because that's what I'm about in life, you know. And but Kendrick Lamar put on a performance last night at the halftime show. If you guys are following, hit like and hit subscribe. Drop a comment. I'll pop your comment up on the screen. I'll do my best to read it or whatever. But Kendrick Lamar performed last night, and people are on the internet, white people that say that they're conservative, allegedly, right? Allegedly conservative, but really are the woke right, are out there complaining, saying, oh, Kendrick Lamar, who is this guy? Who likes this type of music? Nobody likes this types of music. Literally anybody under 40 is like, what are you talking about? Everybody likes this type of music. And that's a real thing. Like, vast majority of Americans like rap. That's a fact. That's not like something made up. That is 100% fact. But what happened is these so-called white conservatives, which they're not conservative at all, don't get me started. They're the biggest threat to the conservative movement, bigger than the neo-Marxists, bigger than the rhinos, bigger than the fake people that are plants that are in the Republican Party, that are spies for the Democrats or for the Marxists, bigger than them. The woke right is what these fake people are. They are the woke right. They are just as racist, if not more, than the leftist liberals. And they are a serious problem that are hurting the conservative movement and preventing us from being able to move forward in a stronger footing and engage with more people and bigger audiences. Because they say dumb nonsense like, oh, who can even understand what he's saying? Really? Everybody. And if not, you need to go look up the lyrics. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that other people don't like it. You think that he just got to be at the Super Bowl for no reason? The man didn't have any devil worship nonsense out there. The man didn't have any baby sacrifice. The man didn't have any people in cages or nothing crazy out there. The man's show was all about patriotism. Okay? You know, did you see them make the flag? Okay? And y'all talking all bad about this man? Everything that the man pushed was what the conservatives talk about. He rebuked the child trafficking. He shot down human trafficking. He talked about the pedophiles. He talked about government waste. He talked about government overreach. He talked about how the government was screwing the people. You understand what I'm saying? That's everything that we as conservatives talk about. And they got these woke right, fake conservatives out here trying to say, oh, well, because he's black. There's no two ways about it. And you can say that these people are racist or they're not racist, whatever the case you might try to make it. The fact of the matter is that they have some deep-seated dislike of black Americans, and everything that they're putting out there is very anti-black. And again, I am not the biggest fan of that type of music. But the fact of the matter is everything that he's talking about is everything that the conservative movement talks about all the time. That was the most patriotic thing that I've seen at the Super Bowl in decades. And they got so much mouth to talk bad about him. And they out there, that's Black American culture, #1, front and center. Black American. Not this fake, phony black people that are from other foreign countries calling themselves black when they're not. You understand what I'm saying? Then on top of that, he got up there and rebuked these fake foreigners for popping that smack about Americans and trying to pretend like they're Americans when they not like us. Don't get me started. Don't get me started, because that really rubbed me the wrong way, seeing all of these fake so-called conservative talking heads, okay, talking about Kendrick and stuff like that. Again, not that I like him, but he's saying everything that the conservative movement is saying, and y'all out here popping that smack. Like, that's the message that needs to get out to the Black American community. That's the message that needs to get out to the white community. That's the message that needs to get out to the Hispanic community. That is a message that needs to get out to the Asian American community. And that type of music touches so many people, to be dismissive of it is nothing but anti-Black hate. That's what it is. You can call it racism. You can call it whatever you want to. That is anti-Black nonsense. Again, I don't even really care for that type of music. But it's about what he was talking about that was 100% on point. And it was so patriotic. Everything he talked about was conservative issues, and he was standing on business. And they made the American flag, and he ain't get credit for none of what he was doing. Craziness. Somebody dropped a comment. We're going to read it real quick. Let's see what we got. Somebody doesn't like me saying oh, that's going to make me spit thing. Well, it's going to make me spit, okay? Because I feel some type of way. And it really, really makes me feel some type of way. Okay? It really does. It really does. And I'm sorry that you do not like it. I'm not going to guarantee you that I'm not going to do that. Because that is a thing that I do when I feel disgusted. When I feel absolutely disgusted, the stuff really, literally makes me want to spit. It's not a joke. It's not something that's a fake thing. That is a real thing, because I'm absolutely, completely disgusted. You know, kind of like how somebody says, well, it made me want to vomit. I'm sorry, that sounds like I'm going very hard on the situation. You just caught me after after I'm coming down after a very passionate topic and conversation there. But I appreciate your input. I will take it under advisement, and I will do my best to take it under advisement. I'm no guarantees, okay? But I did hear you. I want to let you know that you are heard. I did see it, and I'm going to work to address it. Thank you for your input. Do continue to comment. I appreciate you, and I love you very much that you would go out of your way to take the time to actually bring that up as a point to me. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. So, you guys, please donate to the show. Help us keep the lights on. Help us get more airtime. You can do that. $MW real, the number 1. That's $MW, the digit 1 on Cash App, or you can do Venmo or PayPal. That's at Marcus C. Williams. Even if you can just donate $5 or $10, that's fantastic. But if you can donate like 20 or 50 or $100, that's even better, because we're trying to raise at least $100 an episode to get more airtime and to try to start saving up for some better equipment. Okay, you guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Divide. Please make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe. And if you listen to us on the radio, you're listening to WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. This is The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. Tune in next Monday, 2:30 to 4 o'clock. And make sure that you tell your friends, your family, and even your enemies to tune in, because we're talking about the real stuff in your ear that you need to hear, and having the real conversations that we should. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Be blessed and be well. And remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Catch you guys later. All right, you guys. I appreciate all of you. Dave, I see you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate your comments. I hear you. I hear you. About the spit thing, I really do be having to spit. Like, that is not a joke, because I really do get disgusted with a lot of the stuff that's going on today. That's why I fight so hard and why I push back so hard. It's very important that we really do have these conversations. That's why I appreciate all of you guys that tune in every week. Dave, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys all for watching and following. I really appreciate you all. Please do share this out with more people so more people can see what we're talking about, because it's important topics. A lot of stuff that we cover here on the show, it's not covered anywhere else. Like, you'd have to dig to the bottom of the news to find any of it, maybe. So we're working on another show, making another show happen, but we do need your donations and stuff like that. So please do donate whatever you can. If you can't this week, donate something later on during the week. It doesn't matter. I appreciate all of you. And I'm really working on a really strong new show. Okay. So that's coming up, and that's going to be really hot. I think you guys are going to like it. It's going to be directly about the policies and the issues of what's going on. So you guys keep the faith. Don't give up. Understand that there are those of us that are out here willing to stand up and speak up, and we will keep the fight alive. Okay? So if you can, share this with your friends, share it with your family, share it to your page. If you can't donate, that's fine. I understand. Times are tough. The economy isn't the best where we want it to be yet, but you can still share. You can still drop some hearts, drop some comments. Everything helps get it out to more people. I love you all. I'm going to try to do another show during the week, covering some of the other stuff that Trump's doing and what's happening in New York State, because there's a lot of stuff going on in New York State right now that's not being covered by the news. That's really going to affect the rest of the country. So I'm going to do my best to cover that stuff. So please, you guys, get this out to more people. What do you say? Dave says, the phrase is fine. It's just a vocalization. Okay. I got you, Dave. I got you. I got you. I appreciate you and your feedback. You guys, I read all of your messages and all of your comments. So do comment, even if the show is not live. I do read them, and I do my best to respond to every single comment. I can't always respond to the comments because it doesn't show me exactly where they're coming from all the time. But if I haven't responded to a comment from you that you responded on air, I will do my best to get to it offline if I can. And always comment during the show or during one of the lives. I will do my best to pop them up. I appreciate you guys so much. And I am running for city council in my area. So if you guys are in the Rochester area and you want to get involved, please, please, please reach out to me. You can go to my website. It's Marcus4Rochester.com. That's Marcus4Rochester.com. If you're in the Rochester or Monroe County area, I am running for city council this year to work to make a difference right here at home. Like I always preach to you guys about participating in local governance. I really participate in local governance. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It's not something that I just say for the show. It's something that I'm really about. You know how they say, oh, I'm about that life? I'm really about that life. I also teach civics education and stuff like that. So everything that I go over on the show, I'm really about that life. So I appreciate you all so, so much for tuning in. And hopefully I can get another show out for you guys later this week. If you are following me right now, please make sure that you follow my YouTube. It's on the Marcus C. Williams channel on YouTube, or wherever you're watching me right now. Make sure that you subscribe, okay? So I'll catch you guys later. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. You guys be blessed and be well. Get active. It's up to us. Okay? Be blessed and be well.